Hey folks, so price hasn't been doing much. There's been a lot of volume with the Bitcoin ETFs, but not much net inflows from what I can see. And I think that's pretty normal. As I said yesterday on the Trading Pub, that we have to really gauge the efficacy or the effect of these ETF approvals over a much longer epoch. So let's say over a quarter, not on day one. And to be honest, this doesn't really surprise me. And so what I've done is I've created what I think is the logical process in what's likely to happen based on my knowledge and experience and stuff. So all that happened yesterday was, here we go, the approval. Okay, so finally we got this whole shindig out of the way. No more stalling. We got a handful of big ETFs approved, and more are going to be approved along the way. But all that does is create awareness. So this is now on the TV quite a lot. We've got Jim Cramer talking about Bitcoin every single day, and he's flip-flopping his opinion on it every single day. So it's getting out there to the Joe public that, you know, I've always thought Bitcoin was some fad internet play money, but now it's creating awareness and also legitimacy if the world's biggest fund managers and banks are now ploughing in this. But also this means there has to, now is the training process. So they would have been doing this months before this, obviously, but it's an ongoing thing. So many, like thousands of people in the financial sales world within BlackRock and Fidelity, etc., they're going to be getting more training. So, you know, they have to fully understand what Bitcoin is, you know, the real function of it as money and you know, currency debasement, all that sort of stuff. Because these salespeople need to be able to have that Bitcoin spiel. So when they're talking to a pension fund manager that is 65 years old, been in equities and bonds for the last 40 years, that person's going to have to try and convince that 65-year-old fund manager who's really set in his ways, you know, the pros of Bitcoin. Hey, look, just put your pension, just put 1% of your pension fund into our Bitcoin ETF, that sort of stuff. So there's going to be lots of training and therefore sales. That's not a one-day thing. This takes months, if not years, which is why it's going to be a perpetual evergreen process, this whole thing. There's also going to be an element of client monitoring, very much like I do when I look at a new crypto. So if I see a new crypto and I think, okay, I quite like that, I don't just buy it willy-nilly. I will stalk that thing for a month or two. And when I say, even if I stalk it for a month, that's a lot of hours that have gone in there. I would have really researched my stuff. So there will be lots of fund managers, and these really are the important people, the fund of fund managers and just normal funds. They will be monitoring Bitcoin and seeing what happens. And then, yeah, they just want to wait until the dust has settled. Then there will be the client stampede. And I think what's going to happen with the client stampede is when Bitcoin passes 55, 60K, once it sort of gets beyond that sort of that territory, then we're going to start seeing people FOMO in. Then it will break all-time highs. And guess what? Bitcoin, all-time highs, 75K or whatever. And it's all because of BlackRock and these ETFs. These ETFs are making their clients millions, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? You know, we think that degenerate crypto people suffer from FOMO. Everyone suffers from FOMO, even billionaires. So we will see client stampedes and pension funds swamping into this. And it's just a matter of time before we start seeing derivatives based off these ETFs, mainly, in my opinion, Bitcoin as collateral. So this is now an approved asset on the global scene. So the next logical step is that Bitcoin becomes collateral. So billionaires don't sell their stock, or they rarely sell stock. When they want liquidity or cash, they borrow off of their assets. So hopefully we can now borrow off of our Bitcoin or buy a house using Bitcoin as collateral for your deposit, all that sort of stuff. And the most important thing, we are literally just on the precipice of interest rates plummeting and stimulus. I've just written the same thing there. Interest rates plummeting and rate cuts, same thing. What I meant to say is interest rates plummeting and stim pumps, so financial stimulus. And all of that will make the price of Bitcoin go higher and higher and higher, and it's like this evergreen, perpetual flywheel or loop which will just keep things going. So yeah, I still see Bitcoin around 130 odd K, 130 to 150K. I have a more pessimistic outlook than most by the end of the cycle, but hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight into what's likely to happen. So really, yeah, Bitcoin is likely to boom. I've allocated a tiny bit more into Bitcoin, teeny bit more, but yeah. Anyway, I will see you soon. Toodles.